United Artists Channel 63 presents the United Artists Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
Tonight from Troy Athens High School, it's the Rochester Falcons taking on the Troy Athens Red Hawks. Good evening, everyone. Dave Zorin along with Bob Griglack here at Troy Athens High School, where tonight, Bob, we see two pretty strong defensive teams.
I think this game is going to be a matter of who makes the mistakes first and whether the offenses can take advantage of those mistakes.
Okay, we see Rochester relying pretty much on their defense. Both offenses are really suspect in this game.
Well, you know, they're going to run the ball basically and keep the ball away from the other team's defense. The team that can hold on to the ball and basically not make mistakes, run down the field, is going to win the game.
Okay, we'll be back with some of the keys in the game and the kickoff right after these messages. Stay with us.
If you're in business, you know advertising can be a hit or miss proposition. Some is off target, and even the big idea can fall short. But advertising on cable TV is a surefire way to reach your most likely customer, because whoever you're aiming for, there's a cable channel that targets your buyers in your area. Cable TV advertising. It works. Call United Artists Cable Advertising today.
Welcome back to Troy Athens, where tonight the Red Hawks host the Rochester Falcons here in this contest in the Metro Suburban Activities Association. Don't forget last year's records now. Again, 2-5 for Rochester, 3-6 overall. Athens 5-2 and 7-2 overall. Talking to Mike Van Dam, he picks Athens as one of the big teams to beat this year. Current records, 1-1 for Rochester in the conference, 2-1 overall. And Athens 2-0 in the conference, 3-0 overall, and a good start for head coach John Walker's team.
Should be an interesting contest today. I think both teams are going to kind of try to feel each other out, particularly at the beginning. The mistakes are going to be the key to the game, and whether or not the offense can take advantage of what the defense gives them.
The Red Hawks came up big last week against Southfield Lathrop when they scored big 3 times on defensive turnovers. One was an interception, the last one they scored, and they won 24-10. The game before that, 10-7 over West Bloomfield. So a pretty good start to the Red Hawk season. The Falcons on the other side, 1-1, still very much in the race in the Metro Suburban Activities Association. A strong point in the Red Hawks game has been their kicking. As we talk to John Walker, he's very pleased with it. Here's a low line drive kick taken at about the 5-yard line. And they're going to cut it outside. He has some room to run, and finally met there by number 55, Alfeld, Ryan Alfeld, to make the stop, and he stood him right up. But a good return there for the Falcons.
And if Alfeld didn't make that tackle, I'll tell you what, he had a lot of room in front of him. He probably could have broke that one for another 30 or 40 yards before they caught up to him.
Big receiver, Mickey Ott is the one to look for on the Rochester offense. He will be used as a slot and a tight end. There we see John Walker, head coach here at Athens in his 17th year, 88-57 overall record as head coach. The quarterback for Rochester is Paul Van Dam. In motion and in the slot goes number 85, Mickey Ott. Back to pass immediately, and he goes to Ott. Ott picks up a gain and close to a first down.
Looks like he might have it that last dive at the last second, threw him over the line. Looks like he's got a first down. That throws off everything we anticipated at the beginning in this game. We anticipated them running left. That's where their big offensive line is. He gets plenty of time, as you can see here, to throw the ball. He drops back, fake handoff, about 4 steps, and Ott was wide open and takes the ball for the first down. Good conservative play call, good for the 10-yard gain.
In the backfield for Van Dam is Matt Newman and Bogner, Eric Bogner. And this time the handoff goes to the fullback, Newman. As Van Dam hands off on a straight dive, and the Falcons moving very well here in the first possession.
Well, that's a good conservative call again. It's just a straight dive up the middle. There's not much chance for any problems other than the handoff, and that 5-yard gain sets up second and short. Now they can do a lot of different things here. They can throw the ball back to the tight end, sweep, draw, whatever. So it opens up a lot of possibilities.
McCann, Howard, and Sirianni, the flankers, will be running in the plays for the Falcons. Handoff this time to the tailback. And not much that time. Gain of a few. Eric Bogner. Here we take a look at number 20 on the other side, Whitehouse. Now, Brian Whitehouse is not the quarterback last year. His brother was. This is Brian Whitehouse, the quarterback this year for the Athens Redhawks is Brian Schiller, number 25, who is on the other side of Whitehouse. Trying to get to the first down, and he may have on a good second effort, is number 12, Bogner, Eric Bogner again, the 5'11", 191 junior. Both teams have a lot of juniors, and we talked to John Walker. He said Mike Van Dam's juniors, though, have a little bit more experience, and it's like they're coming in as seniors.
Exactly. Well, their big key was to stop Walker, because I'll tell you what, he, number one, is their best running back. The second effort there did get him the first down, but experience is going to be a key to this game, particularly in the second, third, and fourth quarters. Right now, the motions are running high. It doesn't make a big difference, but later on, experience will show.
So Bogner does pick up the first down, ball at about the 49-yard line, 1st and 10 there. And a straight dive to the fullback. Or correction to Bogner. It was a split backfield, and Bogner got the handoff, gain of about 2 or 3. They'll move it back. It'll be second and about 8.
The Falcons are going to run double tight end set oftentimes, and the reason they're going to do that is to try to get the defense to try to fill the gaps. If they can break a gap, if the linebackers fill, they give a chance to break a big one.
Second down and 8 now for Paul Van Dam, the quarterback for Rochester.
146. Go!
All just over the 49-yard line of the Redhawks. Straight dive. The Redhawks looked like they might have pursued a little too much, but the defensive line held for no gain on that one. It'll be 3rd and 8.
That's a good linebacker shot right there. He filled the gap and stuck him hard.
Mike Van Dam sending the play in with number 7, Matt Brownell. Right in the middle of your screen, you see him with the white stripe across the jacket. That is Mike Van Dam, head coach here for, he's in his 9th year at Rochester with the record of, well, we don't have that record, but he's been there for 9 years, so it's got to be pretty good.
We had it somewhere here. I'll find it for you.
Back to pass. Paul Van Dam has time, steps up, and will take it himself, and very close to the first down, but he'll be short. He'll be short by about 2 yards. And it'll be 4th and about 2 coming up. Let's take a look at where they mark it, and let's take a look at that play again, Bob.
Here's an interesting decision right here. He did have somebody open downfield, but the key thing is on 4th and 2, they're in decent field position. They can go for it here. He drops back to pass. All of his receivers are covered. He's going to look for a back out here to the right. Back doesn't slip out. Now he's going to take the ball down. He should have, if he could have taken it 1 second earlier, he might have got the first down, but it was a nifty bit of running.
Straight dive, and this works. Matt Newman for the first down carry. It was a long 4th and 2, and they came up with the first down on a straight dive. And these plays have been working for the Falcons, and this is what you expected, is the straight dives and just power football.
Well, they're trying not to make mistakes. 4th and 2 was a big call right there, because if they didn't, they gave excellent field position over to Athens. But they did get the first down. Let's see if they can take it in now.
Falcons on the move on their first possession. 7:20 left in the first quarter. We're at Athens High School. And a little bit of confusion on the line. It looked like not everybody took off on the snap, but it still managed to get some yardage for the Falcons. It'll be second down and about, let's see, about 7 yards coming up.
You know, with the 2 nicknames of these teams, you have the Redhawks and the Falcons, you would think they'd put it in the air, you know. But we're not going to see that today. If we do, it's going to be conservative throwing.
Battle of the Birds. Falcons against the Redhawks. 2 men in the backfield. And back to pass. Van Dam has time, unloads downfield, and just led the receiver a little too much. Intended down there for number 21, C.J. Howard. Howard, 5'9", 167, another junior, and he's got some speed, too.
He split the defenders nicely. Basically, the ball was overthrown. He was open, but that time he was the intended receiver. The quarterback never looked away, went through him deep, and almost connected.
3rd and 7 now, and a definite passing down again for the Falcons. Watch for number 85. He's been one of their key receivers this year. That is Mickey Ott. Usually comes in a crossing pattern. This time he's in motion. Cuts upfield for a block, and Bugner did not get much on this one, so it'll be 4th and long now.
Well, Mike Van Dam said he was going to run to the short side, and he did that time. 4th down and a little longer than the last call, but they're in the same situation. A punt might get them, well, if they kick it in the end zone, for instance, that's another 14, 15-yard difference. He'll probably go for it at this point. A short, conservative pass to the tight end or a running back coming out of the backfield. Maybe roll the quarterback out, give him some time, and he might have the option to run the ball himself.
And this is the kind of confidence he has in his defense, too. Not only his offense, but his defense. If the Red Hawks were to pick it up, they were to get good field position earlier. Back to pass, and he goes down. Van Dam pressured and goes down for a loss. And the Red Hawks will take over.
Well, that wasn't a conservative play. It was a straight drop back, and there's a lot of bad things that can happen on the pass, particularly when you get a rush like this. As he goes back, you can see they're blitzing a linebacker. They're going to give some additional pressure on him. Watch 52 come up right here, and the defensive line basically claps on him. He almost squeezes through here, but his foot is just tipped, and he's definitely sacked.
He's tripped up. 5:33 left in the first quarter. All that time of possession going to the Falcons. And this is the first possession for the Red Hawks. And almost mess up the handoff there, and almost a fumble. As reaching out was Schiller, and Schiller almost didn't get it off.
Tell you what, those first couple plays are definitely tedious when you look at the straight handoffs and handing the ball off and the snaps and everything else. Your nerves are going for you. Your knees are shaking. And you got to get that first couple plays under your belt before you feel comfortable.
I formation in the backfield. Schiller, the quarterback, and he's got one man split up top. Schiller on the option, pitches out, and a little too soon on the pitch out, Bob. And just set up his backup to get sacked for a loss, actually.
It looks like he wanted to pitch that ball out and really took himself out of the option play. You can see right here, as he comes up the line, he's got the problem with the handoff again. He was looking to pitch the ball up. He never wanted to run the ball himself. He's got to take the ball down the line with a little more authority to get the defenders to key on him.
Yeah, make them commit.
Exactly, and he didn't do that.
Smith on the carry. He gains about a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9 now. And a passing down for the Red Hawks. A quick pattern and no pass interference, although it was intended out there for Grabowski. And it was a defender just getting right in the way of Grabowski. And the ref said there's no way he was going to get it.
I think Jeff Danielak basically was just standing there, and Grabowski was going for the ball and knocked him over. So you can't fault him for that.
So the first possession for the Red Hawks here,
that's a mini-wave.
The band, well, they're trying to do, I think, as a popcorn thing is what they do.
Well, here's where the kicking game comes into handy.
And the Red Hawks to punt. Good high kick, not much distance on it, but it may get a good roll for the Red Hawks. Now it'll stop at the 30. Still not bad. And getting the Falcons back into their own territory, and the Falcons will get it there. So the Red Hawks don't show much offensively, but they do stop the Falcons on their first possession. Now the Falcons will get it back. 0-0 with 4:05 left in the first quarter.
I tell you what, on a punt like that, number 26, Cox was near the ball, Dave Cox, and he needs to get out of the way because that ball takes a bad bounce, and that's a turnover.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, how close he was going to get to that ball.
Once the backs decide not to take it, he needs to just get out of the way.
1st and 10, ball on the 30 for the Falcons of Rochester. One man in the backfield and 4 receivers, and downfield and complete to his favorite receiver, number 85, Mickey Ott.
Well, Mike Van Dam is throwing us for a loop here. He said he's going to run 2 tight ends, run the ball to the short side. This time he runs 4 receivers with a slot back, goes back to pass on first down again. It's the second time on first down he's thrown, and completes it again for about a 5-yard gain.
He did say he would throw, though.
Well, true, and he did say he's going to throw a lot. So we'll give him that, but we'll see. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, 2nd and 6 now.
Okay.
It's just shy of about 5. A straight dive this time, and a pretty good gain on a second effort that time by Bugner. So Eric Bugner, 350 yards coming into this game with 3 games under his belt. So averaging over 100 yards a game for the Falcons. 3rd down and about 3 coming up now for the Falcons, and they have gone for it twice on 4th down and come up big.
They won't go for it down there, though.
So this time they've got to pick up that 1st down on 3rd. Single back, and they go to him. Bugner had a lot of room on the left side, but decided to go where the blocking was, and the blocking just fell in.
The key to that play was penetration by the defense. They were able to push the offensive lineman back into his line. Took him out of the play because he wasn't able to make the cut quick enough.
Had plenty of room to cut back to the left.
Didn't make it quick enough. That was his problem.
Right. So 4th and 4 now, and the first time the Falcons have to punt tonight. Back to receive, looks like number 88, Keith Doobie. A low square that's blocked, and the Red Hawks defensively come up with another big play, and he is just shy of the end zone. That was number 50 on the pickup, Mike Gambalen.
It was a bad snap. That's what keyed the whole thing. He just tried to kick the ball and kicked it right into their chest. The ball bounced forward, picked it up, and ran for the touchdown. We're close to it there.
Here's the man with the recovery.
Well, when you get a bad snap like that, I'll tell you what, as a kicker, you don't know what to do. Take a look right here. He picks the ball up. He sees about 15 red jerseys. At least that's the way it looks to him, coming at him. He tried to kick the ball. He got it up a couple more feet. It would have worked. But Athens picks the ball up and runs it down. Let's see how close it gets to that touchdown here. You can see he just falls short about a yard.
Ball at the 1-yard line. The Falcons get a chance to put it in the end zone here. Remember last week, they scored opportunistically 3 times on defensive plays. This time, a straight dive for a touchdown by number 35, Matt Schiffer.
Well, that was a nice fundamental play. Just a straight dive play, over tackle, over guard, and put his head down and ran right through the hole. The hole was there. I don't think he even looked. You can take a look right here. Watch his head down. See his head's down? He's running right through. He wants to knock somebody through with the head. Nobody ever knocks him down. Touchdown. Well, as I mentioned in the open, I told you at the beginning of the game that the offense needs to take advantage of what the defense gives them. Defense will be the key to set up the plays. That, of course, you know, when you only have to go a yard, you don't have to do very much.
Here's the extra point attempt by Schiller. It is up. It is good. And the kicking game is strong for the Red Hawks. You saw it right there on the extra point.
He kicked it from 40 yards right there. That was a nice, solid kick.
And it's 7-0, Red Hawks, with 1:25 left in the first quarter. So the Red Hawks didn't get much of an offensive drive, but the defense came through. They held strong and got some penetration on the punt. You take those punts for granted, but play like that.
Well, even the penetration was good. I'm not going to deny him that, but the snap made the difference. You've got 3 or 4 seconds to do it, and that's all you got. If you don't, they're going to get you.
Don't forget to tune in next week. Another great matchup for you. Avondale going against Clawson. The Yellow Jackets always with that explosive offense. And Rick Brewer, the Rhino, you'll be seeing him again, and he's always got some great players for you. Clawson, of course, it'll be at Clawson, so they'll get the edge with the home field advantage. The Red Hawk band excited. They got the 7-0 lead, and the quarterback, he does it all. Brian Schiller will do the kicking. And look at this, an onside attempt. It's got to go 10 yards, and I don't think it did.
I don't think it did either, but nonetheless, when you call a fair catch, you got to give them enough room to catch the ball, and they didn't do that either. So there's a couple things that could have been called there, and an interesting play. An interesting play.
Yeah, you come right back with an onside kick. You got to have a lot of A lot of faith in your defense here.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I did. It kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat, knowing that something could happen or anything could happen.
Well, this is great field position now for the Falcons. Ball on about the 48-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the Falcons. We start the clock with under 1:20 left in the first quarter. A straight dive that time, gains about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 coming up.
I'll tell you what, Matt Newman got all that on his legs. He just kept them pounding, and that was all him. That was an excellent run.
Falcons, primarily a running team here. They're going to run 2 tight ends, as Bob said, but they've been showing us a little bit different formation. Now going to the other side is Dussault. Matt Dussault lines up at the top, and up top is number 21, C.J. Howard. That's who he's looking for. Van Dam takes it himself and manages to get about 3 more yards.
We get a flag. It's probably illegal formation. I don't know if they had enough guys on the line of scrimmage. When that tight end moved, he might have been just back off the line.
Illegal procedure it is against the Falcons, so that'll knock him back now.
You can't see here, but he's probably just back a little bit off the line of scrimmage, and that's illegal procedure. Good defensive rush. Watch 54. He's the monster man. Monster linebacker, you could call him. What he does, he goes to the wide side of the field and tries to take a running back coming out in the flat or the tight end.
There's a guy who does it all, Brian Schiller. He kicks extra points, and does the quarterbacking. He was a running back last year for this team, and then head coach
But he doesn't
Walker
play defense.
Wanted to get him. No, well, you know,
that's when you do it all. When you play, you don't come off the field.
Okay, but he's doing enough. Schiller taking a break there. He's a junior, and a lot of pressure put on that guy, but he's come through. 3-0, the Red Hawks come into this game.
Here comes the blitz, it looks like.
2nd down and 12, and the Falcons taking their time. They may get delay a game here. No, they don't. They get it off, and a good, solid hit in there. The first man through was number 35, excuse me, getting in from the defensive backfield. And let's take a look.
You can't really tell here, but he checked off at the line of scrimmage, tried to run a quick draw play. The penetration was too great, and they were able to see the ball carrier as he got the ball and tackled him. But he tried to check off the line of scrimmage. That's what caused all the time. They were showing blitz. They brought the defensive back and the safety up, and they came with the blitz, and they got him.
Good, solid hit by Matt Schiffer. And that'll be the last play of the first quarter as we take a look at the crowd here. And
a late arriving crowd.
High school, late arriving crowd.
But they're strong. Good crowd today.
Don't forget, we'll be showing another contest with Troy Athens, the traditional matchup, Troy against Athens. And what a matchup that is every year. No matter what the records are, you can just throw those right out. Don't forget to tune in to Transition with your host, Jeffrey Miller, as we take a look at African-American issues in and around the Detroit area. Past shows have had Louis Farrakhan, John Conyers, and yes, Coleman Young. Watch Transition Saturday at 10 p.m. on 63. Falcons back to pass. Van Dam, and it just closes in on him. Good coverage defensively. Getting in there is number 54 for the Red Hawks.
Tell you what, it's nice when you switch quarters, you only have to go a couple yards either way. But that time he was 3rd and long, and of course when you have that particular type situation, the defense can key on it. They keyed on it, they sent a few linebackers and got some pressure on it. Take a look right here, he steps up, linebacker comes in, makes the tackle. That's a situation though, when your ball is up in the air like that, it can be knocked away, so you got to be careful.
Falcons to punt, low line drive. And almost fumbled down there, taking it around the other side. We got a face mask coming up. No face mask. Looks like he had him by the shoulder pad.
Yeah, it looked like he grabbed the shirt around the shoulder pad there. But 86 there picked the ball up. Luckily, that's Steve Dady. Yeah, and it's a good thing he did because they were bearing down on him quickly.
Just underway in the second quarter as the Red Hawks get it back.
Dady picks the ball up, and watch how quickly they're on top of him. He takes a look around. Whoop, there's one guy. Watch where he grabs him. Right there, grabbed him by the shirt. That's legal.
Redhawks on the first down carry by number 32, Jeff Smith. And Smith comes up big for the Redhawks. One of their bigger gains, really.
Yeah. Well, he popped through the hole. He had a nice hole to go through, and he got by one more man. He was gone to the races.
Smith, their leading ground gainer. And he's got a total of 249 yards.
In 51 carries, so that's all 5 yards a carry. That's a pretty good average.
The handoff by Schiller again outside, and it looks like he picked up the first down. Good carry again by Smith as he just springs right back up and wants to go right back at him.
Well, I'll tell you what, he shows a lot of quickness, particularly in those legs. It's a lot of leg strength. Take a look at the handoff here. He attacks the line of scrimmage. Watch this. He comes for the ball. He looks for his hole, and now he just goes for it. Puts his head down and keeps his legs going. That's a sign of a good running back, and he gets the first down. Big first down there, too.
First down now for the Redhawks. Handoff up the middle, and they just stack it right up. Nothing there. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up.
Well, there's nothing fancy about that. They're just basically trying to. The fake wasn't good enough. You know, when the quarterback hands the ball off like that, you just can't just diddly-dally around and run back. You've got to pretend like you've got the ball, because there could be a time later in the game where he can keep the ball, run a naked reverse or naked bootleg and get a first down or even a touchdown. So you need to follow through with that.
2nd and 10. Brian Schiller, the quarterback, 2 men in the backfield, 1 man split up top. He rolls out to the left. Intercepted. Intercepted by the Falcons. Number 31 for the Falcons coming up big, Matt Kosmal. The defensive back, 5'10", 168, a junior. And he comes up big for the Falcons. Let's take a look, Bob.
I'll tell you what, this was an excellent pass. It was just excellent coverage. He cut in front of him right at the last second. The receiver's got to come back to that ball. And you can take a look right here. Look, well, it was kind of offline, but the receiver was open. And that was Habrowski. But an excellent interception there by number 31, Matt Kosmal, and a decent run afterwards. Held on to the ball. That's the key.
Good field position now for the Falcons, and Mike Van Dam looks on as he can get opportunistic here, just as the Falcons did earlier. The quick pitch goes outside, and not too much that time for the big running back, Bugner, number 12. He is their big ground gainer.
Well, again, Mike Van Dam goes against what he said he was going to do. A quick pitch, he runs to the wide side of the field and gets 2 or 3 yards. So maybe Athens is adjusting to what he's doing on the short side. He's readjusting back. This is a battle of position here.
Gain of about 3 that time for Bugner. It'll be 2nd and 7 coming up with 8:12 left in the second quarter, and a timeout called by Van Dam here on a crucial drive here for the Falcons. They want to get on the board.
Well, Mike had mentioned in the preliminaries when we were talking to him that he scores about 2 touchdowns a game. He wants this touchdown right here because if he does go in at half 7-7, he's in good position. You're not going to look at losing any type of...
Don't forget to tune into Oakland Press Perspective right here on United Artists 63. It's at 8:30 p.m. right here Friday nights with Oakland Press editor Neil Monroe as he discusses current issues with a variety of guests. Oakland Press Perspective.
I thought I knocked my mic out there for a second, so I think I'm back online.
I heard
here.
you.
You heard me.
So
That's all that
okay.
matters.
I wasn't panicking.
Okay, I was panicking here. I apologize for that. But this is a big defensive series here for Athens. If they can stop them too, you're looking at that turnover not making a difference. But it's going to be big both ways. You know, they're not going to score a lot of touchdowns today. So we'll see what happens. 2nd down and long. They need to open it up here. This would be a good play to do it.
2nd down and 7. Clock stopped at 8:09 left in the second quarter. Van Dam back to pass, has time, unloads deep, but a little too deep. Strong arm by Paul Van Dam, but he has led his receivers just a little too much tonight.
That wasn't a little too much. That was a lot too much.
That was intended down there for Sirianni. Mike Sirianni at 6 foot 165, another junior. 2 very young teams going at it tonight with a lot of juniors.
Well, he did open it up. That was a good play there after calling a timeout to try to go for the big strike. But now you're in third down. You got to get close. If you don't get the first down, get close. You can go in on fourth down.
3rd and 7. And another timeout called by the Falcons as Van Dam doesn't like what he sees defensively. And we'll call timeout for the Falcons.
You know, that's
Only
okay.
5 seconds ticked off on that play, so they don't lose much, but you've got some timeouts left, and you want to figure out what you want to do in these crucial situations right now. Don't forget to tune in to Oakland Forum right here on United Artists 63 Friday at 9 p.m. as we tackle issues directly affecting Oakland County. As your host, yours truly, Dave Zorin, will keep you updated on things going on in and around Oakland County.
Yeah, it's not a bad call taking a timeout there. You don't want to make a mistake. This might be one of your few chances to get in scoring position, and you want to take advantage of it.
The Athens Redhawks with their uniforms similar to the 49ers. And a good team to be copying after this year. 49ers really doing a number offensively in the pros, and the Redhawks would like to be there too. In motion is Ott. Handoff though to the first man through, and not enough for the first down, but gets them close to fourth down situation where they might be able to pick it up.
That's okay, because now you can run on fourth down as opposed to having the pass and having the defense come at you strong. But I was just noticing, I was looking at the defensive alignment on that particular play, no different than what they've done on the 2 plays before that when they had to call a timeout. So it would be strange to me to think why they would call a timeout when there was nothing different in the defense. Maybe some play had been called and he forgot it. I don't know.
Bugner now carried for that one, gets him close. 4th and 4. Bugner again on the carry. He is stacked up. Tried to get some help from his tailback as he's trying to push him forward. Matt Newman tried to give him some help from behind, but it wasn't enough for the first down, Bob.
I'll tell you what, one man did slip on that play. You can't see it on your screen, but he did. It was a quick handoff. He was lucky basically to get the ball. And when he did, the linebacker stood him up and waited for some help from the outside, and no gain. But that was a big defensive play by Athens. Now that they stopped him after the interception, they've got some momentum back. Let's see what their offense can do. If they can take it down, it could take the wind out of the sails of Rochester.
So even though the Falcons come up with an interception deep in the Falcon territory, Falcons come back and stop, and they are on the move now. Here's the big cut, and just couldn't get upfield. Smith with the carry, but not enough to spring him loose.
Well, you know, the offense, getting back to the not taking advantage of the turnover, they had excellent field position. Here, as you can take a look, it's just basically a draw play. He tries to take the draw play outside. Too much penetration, though, and he wasn't able to gain any yards. So they actually lost 2 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 12.
2nd and 12 coming up now for the Falcons. Schiller, the quarterback. 2 men in the backfield are split. And the handoff on the straight dive to Smith. Smith may be getting back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and about 10 coming up.
Not taking any chances down there deep in the territory. You know, 2nd down and 12. You need to look to get 5 to 6 yards at least on that play. That play wasn't working. Not that time.
Falcons, or rather the Redhawks, need to go to the air now. Falcons already come up with a big interception.
I'd be surprised if they go to the air here since they're deep in the territory. They probably want to punt it away, but we'll see.
I formation in the backfield. Falcons dropping back, looking for the pass. Yet they still get in, and a good penetration in there by number 62. That is Livingston, George Livingston, the defensive tackle, untouched.
That was an excellent play by Livingston. He basically made him throw the ball over the receiver's head, who had some room to run. Take a look here. As he goes back to pass, he never sees him. He does not see him. Watch Livingston come right up his back, forces him to throw the ball too early, and it's way over his head. Not even a chance. He probably wouldn't have gained anything anyways. If he did, it would only be a couple yards. So
intended out there for Jeff Smith. So Schiller, this helps when you've got your quarterback as a punter too, because if you're in shorter situations, he could possibly throw. Right now, definitely a punting situation for Schiller. He gets off a good one. Good high kick. Taking it about the 40-yard line to about the 42 by number 86, Fred Landry, and that is where the Falcons will get it.
excellent field position here for the Falcons. They've got a chance here to take the ball down. Now, they haven't shown very much on offense, but they need to put together a good drive here with about 5 minutes and 36 seconds left in the quarter and in the half. They need to put some points on the board before this half ends to get some momentum back. Right now, they're a little stale, a little stagnant.
Don't forget, next week it'll be Avondale and the Yellow Jackets taking on Clawson and the Trojans. Head coach Rick Brewer travels to Clawson. And the only thing you can really say, Clawson better be ready for that high-powered offense that Rick Brewer has every year. Straight dive for the Falcons. Good running by Newman, and sheer muscle gets him about 6 or 7 yards. Good second effort that time.
Just a handoff, straight handoff, good running, good second effort, as you mentioned. Kept his legs running, and that he's done that several occasions here today and has shown a lot of strength in those legs. Take a look right here, somebody warming up there on the sidelines. That's number 23, which I have on my thing as Steve Eberhard, the defensive back playing catch.
Van Dam now. And a whistle down on the play. Delay of game on the Falcons with 4:53 left here in the second quarter.
Seemed to be a little disorganized on offense. You know, last time they had a couple timeouts looking over the defense, and the defense threw nothing up differently. This time they came up to the line slow, sluggish, and they need to get out there and have a feel for what they're going to do, give them more of a chance to get in a rhythm on offense. Now it sets them back after a good gain on first down to second down and 8, and now they've got to gain quite a few yards here to catch up.
In motion is Ott. And a handoff on the counter play, bouncing outside. Bugner for a first down for the Falcons.
Again, he cut that one outside after a quick handoff and showed a lot of leg strength, plowing through about 3 guys in order to get the first down. That was a good call and a good play. And you can take a look right here as he takes the ball up and out. He takes the ball on a quick outside cut. And watch it right at the end when he gets tackled. He takes him for about 3 yards. Forward momentum got him that first down.
First down for the Falcons. Ball just over the 50-yard line, about the 47, into Red Hawk territory. Handoff on a straight dive, and not much that time for Newman. Gain of about maybe 1 or 2.
You know, the quarterbacks haven't shown me any running ability in this game yet. Last week with Southfield, their quarterback showed a lot of ability, and that kept the defense on their heels, not knowing whether the quarterback would take the ball. Even though the quarterbacks aren't going to run, they're not really following through with their fakes. And I'll tell you what, that way you can key on the dive and run some people up the middle. They're not going to be able to take advantage of that outside run.
4 minutes left in the second quarter. Falcons on the move. Second down and about 8. Back to pass is Van Dam. Gets away from one defender, unloads downfield, and has his man complete for the first down at the 25-yard line, and complete to number 25. That is Sirianni. Mike Sirianni, the flanker, gets open for a big gain for the Falcons.
I'll tell you what, that was an excellent play by Van Dam. He was able to elude the rush. The rush was right on his tail. You could take a look here as he goes back to pass. There's a fake handoff. He does that to try to freeze the linebackers. He goes back and he starts to roll. See the ball on his hip? There's the fake. He throws the linebackers. Watch him bearing down on him. Got the ball off in time, and it was a good enough throw for a reception. A little wobbly, but he got it right on target.
And what helped is going to his right, too.
See the receiver waiting for the ball there? That's not a good. It's looking like he might have dropped the ball almost. He needs to come back to that ball. Otherwise, they got a chance for interception.
First and 10 at the 25. Not much room to run. Fumble outside. Let's see if it goes Falcons' way. No, it goes to the Red Hawks.
That's a tough break right there. I'll tell you what. He took his eye off the ball, tried to run before he had it. But, man, that is a tough break because they were on the move.
Falcons were on the move to get their first score, and the Red Hawks come up with a big turnover. It's that quick pitch out to Bugner, and I don't think he ever had the handle on it.
Well, he took his eye off. Right here, look. See, he turned his head as the ball got to him. He never really had it. He tried to run upfield, and he had some blocking behind him. I'll tell you what, if he could have got that ball on target, he had a real good gainer in front of him.
Right there to get it is number 86, Steve Dady, who now switches over to number 54 on defense. So that's why we didn't really get a chance to call his number on defense, but he wears 2 numbers because of his linebacker position.
Never had to do that before. I guess that's something within the last 10 years. after my
Well,
time.
you know, when I played it,
Yeah.
you had to have a specific number if you were playing a different position.
Shows
If
my
you were
age
playing
here,
a line. If you're playing a line position, you had to be, I guess, within the 50s and to the 80s. But if you're in a linebacker position, you can't have anything over, I guess, in the 50s.
Yeah, it makes sense. This way you can key on certain people. I know you have, when you have a tight end or a guard or somebody come in as an extra lineman, they can actually go to the referee and call themselves eligible, but they need to report, otherwise they are ineligible, even though you are allowed so many receivers. We have a timeout down here, it looks like.
Timeout, 3:18 left in the second quarter. And the Red Hawks get the ball back. They lead 7-0 on a big turnover, a blocked punt, and a 1-yard run by Schiffer. Here is a straight dive. Again, Smith bouncing outside. He's got room and finally brought down after he picks up a first down and more. Down there by Geisler. Rick Geisler on the tackle. The defensive back finally brought Smith down. But a good run by Smith as he bounces right outside.
I kind of like that. Looks like Barry Sanders does that often, where he goes up the middle. Looks like he's stopped. Everybody kind of stops pursuing. That time, look at 78. Look at him. He blocked until the whistle blew, and that's the way you're supposed to do it. That particular play was a lot to do with Smith, but 78 made the key block.
That's right. He knocked out about 3 guys that could have possibly knocked him down earlier. Red Hawks on the move. Ball at about the 44-yard line. Straight dive again. Not much this time. It'll be 2nd and long. Handoff again to number 32, Jeff Smith.
I'm going to have to go back and call this man's name again. Number 78 is Mohib Murray, offensive lineman, 6'4", 260, and showed that he can use that size to his advantage, knocking off 2 or 3 men. And people take the offensive line for granted. They really make or break a team. If they get good blocks, it really opens it up for the running backs.
2nd down, about 7. Gain of about 3 that time for Smith. Movement, trying to figure out which way it came from this time, though. Let's take a look. Now the flag is thrown. And let's see where it goes. It'll go against the Red Hawks.
Yeah, they jumped just a hair too soon.
Movement on the right side of the line.
2 or 3 players, it looked like. You know, it's funny, I talk about the offensive linemen and you talk about the running backs. You can tell which positions we played in.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly. It'll be now 2nd and about 12 now for the Red Hawks, as we see quarterbacks Brian Schiller. Schiller, again, a running back last year, takes over for Whitehouse, who was the big quarterback last year for him.
Talking about numbers, it looks like he kept his running back number 25.
Yep. Coming around the outside as the guards pull, but not much room to run on the short side of the field for Smith. So it'll be 3rd and long now for the Red Hawks with 1:43 left here in the second
Number
quarter.
60, Matt Sheridan, makes a nice tackle here, grabs him by his jersey and slows him up enough to make the tackle. But he's a linebacker shooting the gap. You take a look right here. Look, grabs his jersey and pulls him down. It shows a lot of strength, and it's finished up by another one of his teammates. But that's good quickness, too, by a linebacker getting his hands on him before he turns it up.
3rd down and 10. Again, Smith on the carry. Nothing that time, and flags are down in the area of a holding call, so we'll get to see what this is. Not much on the gain, if anything.
There's your
Holding.
Yep.
And that'll knock him back 10 yards.
Let's see if you can see it here. Here's the handoff. And I think what happens is once the block is made, he keeps the guy on the ground, holds him on the ground. You're not going to be able to see it. There's a good block right there. That's not a hold. You can't see it on our screen. But nonetheless, it wasn't a big gainer anyway. So they're going to decline it, and it's going to be 4th down.
Gain of about 2 on that, so it'll be 4th and about 8, and punting down for the Red Hawks. So we see John Walker on the sideline talking to his offensive player. The punter, as is the quarterback, as is the kicker, Schiller, gets off a shank off the side of his foot, and it'll go out at, or rather down at about the 35-yard line. So the Falcons will start there. One of the deeper possessions that they've had. They had it at the 30 before, and now they get it up about the 36.
Well, that punt was rushed. They had some good penetration on the pass rush, or on the punt rush, and he basically forced that kick before he had to.
Here come the Falcons now, with 40 seconds left here in the first half, and they need to get on the board. Van Dam, open is Ott, and couldn't get out of bounds. He was brought down by number 22, Colin Beal.
Remember, they used 2 timeouts earlier, so they only have 1 left. So that could come into play here. There's only 20 seconds left. I don't think they're going to have a chance to score.
This is where it hurts them. They do have some speed players up at the top of the screen, and that's where they're going to go. They go up top, and just out of the reach of number 21, C.J. Howard, as he was trying to lead him out of bounds to stop the clock. He does anyway with the incomplete pass, 12 seconds left.
You're not going to see here, but the defensive backs are giving him about 12-yard cushion. They're going to give him that pass. As he makes his cut, he slipped just a little bit and then took him off of his pattern. He didn't really run his pattern out, and that's why that was incomplete.
3rd down and about 2, and really, you don't even want to go for the first down here. You've only got about 2 plays anyway. Van Dam with 3 receivers, 4 receivers actually, and 1 running back. And he goes out of bounds, intended for Ott. And it's incomplete, stops the clock with 8 seconds left, and that's all they'll have to try to get it into the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't even want to punt right here, because if you do, you get a chance to block another punt for a touchdown. What they're going to probably do is just sit on the ball. Even if Athens calls a timeout, they're only going to have 1 play.
Yeah, maybe they'll go for it.
Well, they have to. They can't punt.
No, they're not going to sit on it, though.
Well, they're going to go for the first down.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is if they don't get it, then they only have 1 chance for 1 play.
Yeah.
That or just keep running backwards till the time clock runs out.
You don't have anybody open.
There you go.
And he'll unload deep. The clock will not run out. It'll stop with 2 seconds left, and the Falcons do not come up with the score they need here at halftime, and the Red Hawks will get it back.
That's an interesting play. You know, what could happen, though, is if the ball's intercepted, you've got a lot of room to run. Nobody's in lanes. You know, it's going to make a different situation.
Yeah, there was a penalty on the play. It'll be declined. Illegal procedure on the Falcons.
Well, they're going to have 1 play. I'm sure they're just going to throw it up. They're not going to kick a field goal from here. If they did, it would be, let's see, 45, 55, 62 yards against the wind. Well, no wind right now.
No, John Walker said he had a good kicking team.
Well, he said he had a good kicking team.
You think that good?
Well, Jason Hansen could do it.
Yeah, but he couldn't kick the short ones. Isn't that strange? Here we go. 2 seconds left here in the first half. And it looks like the Red Hawks will just fall on this one. No, Smith takes it outside. And he'll be brought down after about a 7-yard pickup. So Jeff Smith carries it out for the Red Hawks to end the first half of play here at Troy Athens High School, where the Troy Athens Red Hawks, very opportunistic, not an offensive game as we talked about, a very defensive game, and defense has come through with a blocked punt for the Red Hawks, and they are on top 7-0. We'll be back with some of the stats for you right after these messages. Stay with us.
If you're in business, you know this sound is music to your ears. And maybe you'd like to hear that sweet sound of success more often. Whatever your business, one of the most efficient ways to increase it is to advertise on cable TV. Cable TV targets your sales message to buyers in your shopping area. Affordably, effectively. Cable TV advertising. It works. Call United Artists Cable Advertising today.
Halftime here at Troy Athens High School, and the score 7-0, and it's time to strike up the band, the Athens Red Hawk Marching Band. Let's go down to the field.
band and percussion performed Concerto in F, and I got rid of.
This is Perspectives, made available by your local cable company.
Virtually every week or so, news reports tell of another Japanese leader who has popped off about the shortcomings of Americans. We are, it is said, too lazy, unproductive, and according to one Japanese official, too many of us are illiterate. Those are fighting words for many Americans. They prompt strong reactions, such as the UAW members who took a sledgehammer to an old Japanese car. Perhaps many of us will be more prone to buy American or to quit buying Japanese goods. But while we demand fair trade, the U.S. should redouble efforts to become more competitive by making world-class quality products. The insults from Japan may be just the inspiration this country needs to retool for the 21st century. For Perspectives, I'm Leila Kokoris.
Opinions expressed on Perspectives are those of Telecommunications Incorporated and not necessarily those of this channel. Please send your comments to this address.
The score at halftime here at Athens High School, the Red Hawks 7, the Rochester Falcons nothing. Although when you take a look at the stats, you may not think that the score is accurate. Let's take a look. Rochester has all the stats: 44 yards passing, 51 yards rushing, total offensive 95. On the other side, Athens, no yards passing, 46 rushing, and they have the 7 points. 2 turnovers for the Falcons, 1 for Athens. 5 first downs for Rochester, only 2 for Athens, and the time of possession a little lopsided. But Bob, it's the big turnover.
Well, the big block punt, yeah, the 1-yard drive. Obviously, you're not going to see you've got 2 first downs. They didn't need one that time, but the block punt made the difference. The offense took advantage what the defense gave them, and Rochester hasn't been able to do that. That's the difference in this ball game.
Well, they lead in everything but the score. And they will try to do something now. They will kick off to the Red Hawks. The Falcons kicking deep to 2 men. Back to receive. Number 32, that is Smith. And it looks like number 12 is back there also. Number 13, Harris, Tom Harris. Smith will take it. Jeff Smith down finally at about the 21-yard line, and that's where the Red Hawks will get it. And Smith is mad. Smith and number 13, Tom Harris,
They want the win.
are upset with each other.
Well, they're hard hitting. That's the key difference right there. But that was a boomer of a kick, and he had to go back and take it over his shoulder. And he made a nice, almost made a nice catch, bounced off his shoulder pad, picked the ball up and turned up, and got a couple nice blocks. But he was hit pretty hard. That's why he's
I think that's
up.
why he was upset.
Yeah.
Smith was looking for a block from Tom Harris. 1st and 10 for the Red Hawks. Hit hard in the backfield by number 62, Livingston. And maybe a gain of about a couple yards on this one. Livingston hit him in the backfield, and he just strung him forward for a couple of yards.
Well, Livingston's 6'2", 202, so it shows you the strength of Jeff Smith. He's only 5'11", but he's 200 pounds too, so he's a strong runner, and he gets those legs going. He's going to ride a couple people down.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 now for the Red Hawks. I formation in the backfield. Hand off to Smith. Smith trying to get outside, and he meets Livingston again, and then the rest of the Falcons. He was down on the ground, and the Falcons are calling fumble, but Smith was down on the ground before the fumble occurred. Let's take a look.
He didn't have anywhere to go. Livingston stood him up, and then he got help from the rest of the defensive line. Let's take a look where the ball comes out here. He grabs him around the end, throws him down. Look at the strength of Smith. Throws him down, and the ball popped out maybe before his knee hit. We don't know, but
They may have called forward motion, too,
sure,
because he was down for a while.
He's got 13 carries for 44 yards, so he's running pretty decently, even though they're not getting much on offense.
Schiller, the quarterback, going downfield, intended for Jeremy Ashley, and off the fingertips of Ashley.
Ashley's 6'3", 207, so he's a pretty big target there. Ball was thrown just behind him and a little bit too hard, but he was wide open. He's not happy about it. He says, "Oh, I was open. Throw me the ball again."
They mentioned the number 88 offensively. Keith Doobie is number 54 defensively, not Steve Dady. As we saw Mike Van Dam and the Falcons head coach as he trails 7-0, and the Red Hawks will have to punt away. Back to receive is number 86, Landry. Landry comes up, and he'll let it bounce.
That was a
Goes
mistake.
to about he's got to get away from that ball. Ball at about the 41, 42-yard line, and that's where the Falcons will get it. Now, had he picked it up, he might have been able to take off a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what he should have did was he should have called for a fair catch and ran up and caught the ball. Well, anytime you let that ball hit, a lot of different things can happen, and none of them are good, really.
Here you see the Red Hawk sideline, and number 84, that is Rabowski, the receiver, defensive back, I should say. First and 10 now for the Falcons. Ball at about the 41-yard line. Van Dam handing off. And good pressure, and again getting in there is number 35, for the Red Hawks, and that is Schiffer. Matt Schiffer has come up with 2 big plays in the backfield of the Falcons.
He just timed the snap here perfectly. It came right over the middle. You're going to see him at the top of your screen right there. He comes in. Shot right through the middle and made an excellent tackle. Held on.
Yeah, you saw the flash right before he got into the backfield because that's how quick he is.
He was fast. Was that a camera, though?
That was a camera. Good point. 9:09 left in the third quarter. And this is the first possession for the Falcons. Red Hawks could not do anything with their possession. Timeout down on the field by the refs, and they will start the clock again. Second down and about 13 now. Falcons running a tight formation again. 2 men in the backfield. And a handoff, fake handoff, and then tended out there for Ott and overthrown just over the outstretched hands of Mickey Ott, the tight end.
That was a running formation which they threw off of, and I think that's what they're trying to do is catch Athens off guard and keep them on the back of their heels. He was open. As he takes a step back here, he's got time to throw the ball, basically just overthrows him a little bit, way over. He still almost caught the ball.
And a big third down play coming up for the Falcons now. 3rd and 13. Clock stopped at 8:52 left in the third quarter. The Falcons have dominated really in every offensive category, except they just can't get on the scoreboard.
Red Sox defense is coming up pretty strong.
A little problem here with the offensive formation. They're going to call a timeout, and this is going to hurt. Now here in the second half, Mike Van Dam is not happy with that call.
Well, you know, again, it goes back to the situation. The defense was no different than what they've been throwing up there. And it just came back to the quarterback either not knowing the play or not knowing where the people were supposed to line up at. And he wasn't comfortable with it. He had to call another timeout. Again, we saw the timeout situation came into play. Mike Van Dam's talking about it. Say, look, son, we might need those timeouts later on in the game because right now we're down 7-0 and one score could make the difference.
And the score 7-0 in favor of that team right there, the Red Hawks. Very opportunistic, blocking a punt and going down to the 1-yard line and scoring. And the only score we've seen is Schiffer on a 1-yard run. Schiffer has done a nice job defensively as well by getting 2 big defensive plays, sacking the running back into the backfield for losses. 3rd and 13. Here come the Falcons now in a passing situation. 2 receivers up top. He'll look that way. No, he wants to take it himself, but he was almost brought down in the backfield by number 54, Doobie. And then finally, that slowed him down enough to get him brought down at about the original line of scrimmage, so it's 4th down and about 10.
He's going back to pass here. They're trying to flood the zone over to the right. You can see he's looking right because that's where all of his receivers are. Then he looks just up at the last second and avoided the sack, but they got enough piece of him in order to knock him down right here. They held on to the jersey. He broke free, tackled him at his ankles, and he went down.
4th and 10 and a punting down here for the Falcons. That's how the Red Hawks score. They were coming again. Good punt this time. Ball taken inside the 30-yard line at about the 29.
A lot of pressure on the kicker in this game. Both kickers on both sides. They're really coming at him strong. They know that the special teams could make the difference in this low-scoring game, and it already has.
Red Hawks will start now. Ball about in between the 20 and 29-yard line. And neither team has really shown us any kind of offensive movement. Let's see what the Red Hawks can do on this possession. Schiller, the quarterback, drops back, rolls out, has room, and complete, but we have a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Could be a holding call.
Typically what it is. He had a lot of time to throw the ball. The receiver's got to come back for it a little bit because as the defensive backs roll that way, there's holding. We knew what that was. He's got time to throw the ball. He got time because he sprinted out. When you're rolling right, it's an easier throw for the quarterback. And he makes a decent throw. You can see right here, he caught it inbounds, barely.
Good job by getting the feet down, but it will be brought back. Schiller getting it there, but offensive line was holding. It'll knock him back. Let's see how he keeps the concentration and keeps his feet in.
He's got a good hold of it, too.
Job.
Yeah, caught the ball right at his hip and held on tight.
That will nullify the pass play and drop him back to 1st and 20. The Red Hawks don't need this. Just as they start to move, And they had no passing yardage coming into the second half, so that would have really picked them up quite a bit. Schiller on the handoff outside and brought down. Not much there. Smith the carry.
That's pretty conservative right there. Just basically want to keep the ball from going over to the other side. No fumbles.
Don't forget to tune in to the Roadshow video program, as it brings you the best in pop music videos and takes you to a new place in Southeast Michigan every month with Brad and Pat. That's Saturday and Monday at 9 p.m. right after the ball games.
See if they're conservative here again.
2nd and 20. Straight dive again, and they are conservative as Smith gets it.
It's a tough situation to be in, 1st and 25, 2nd and 20. You know the defense is gearing up to come at your quarterback, and if you give up a sack or a fumble or something way down deep there, you really open yourself up for some tough situations. So what they're trying to do here is trying to punch the ball out a little bit and basically get some room out there in the field.
About 3rd and 15 coming up now. Redhawks deep in their own territory, trying to get some breathing room. Unloading downfield and almost intercepted again. Intended for Rabowski. Good coverage down there by number 36. That was Newman. And also intercepted, almost intercepted by Landry, number 86.
He's got time to throw the ball here. Basically, his offensive line held up pretty decently. But when he throws the ball, you can see he throws it just a little bit behind the receiver. Let's see if you can see it. Just enough to where he had to come back for the ball. And it was knocked away by some good defense.
And just getting there just a little bit late was Landry.
Threw out in front of him, he might have made the catch.
Schiller to do the punting. It's a beauty off. At about the 42-yard line, the fair catch. That time he had some room to run.
He had
Landry.
15 yards of room in front of him.
Yeah.
But he made the catch. You know, he didn't let the ball bounce in front of him. That's half the battle, I guess.
So Fred Landry gets it about the 41-yard line is where they mark it. 1st and 10 there for the Falcons.
I was impressed with the hang time on that kick. He got that ball up there a good 4 seconds.
We've seen a good punting game.
Yeah, he did a good job. Not a lot of distance, but, you know, enough to... you know, basically get them where they have to put the drive together to score.
It's been a battle of the punters so far.
You know, they're between the 40s there. They're still in tough shape.
1st and 10, Falcon ball at the 41. Bugner, nothing there that time. Eric Bugner. Again, 35 yards coming into the 350 yards, I should say, coming into the game after 3 games. So a pretty good average for him this year.
You know, somebody's taking pictures on that sideline. And, you know, we're catching it because we're, you know, right in front of them. But think how the players are. If they're running down the sideline and they've got the ball, or there's a handoff and somebody snaps a picture, there's the guy right there.
There he is.
You know, they could miss the ball. The ball could be on the ground. Say, well, I can't see because this guy flashed the ball in front of me.
That's maybe how the Redhawks got the block punt.
I don't know. There he goes again.
He keeps flashing that flash bulb. Okay, we're going to have to send someone after him. Cy, you want to go get that guy?
It makes it interesting. I'll tell you what, you know who would enjoy that is John Madden. He'd be right in the circle around the guy. Here's the key guy to the play here, and, you know, he'd be all over him.
On the sideline, number 32, key running back Jeff Smith for the Redhawks getting work done. 3rd down and about 6 coming up now for the Falcons. A big play for them as they still can't get on the scoreboard. Ball on the 45-yard line.
And here comes the defense. They'll show them blitz.
They're all coming, too. And nothing there, but we've got flag on the play, and let's see what happens. It's probably going to go against the Falcons, anticipating that blitz.
Well, it's thrown in the backfield. There's could be only one thing. There's got to be a legal procedure somewhere.
And it is going against the Falcons.
They'll probably decline this one as it'll be 4th down and about 6.
4th and 6, and it'll probably be a punting down for the Falcons. They're going to decline it. It'll be 4th down and punting down, and the punt team coming on the field now for the Falcons on a 4th and 6 situation.
You know, it's the second time that Athens has blitzed like that, and both times it came up big. Yeah, it's really a good call.
Now, again, if you don't get that play,
well, I'll tell you what, it's a touchdown right away.
So you got to guess right, and you got to make it happen. No pressure this time, and the punt is off. Inside the 20-yard line, the fair catch is called. The ball will be taken at about the 17. First and 10 at the 17-yard line. Like I said, Bob, it's a good punting game. We're going back and forth.
Well, it's a chess match. You're trying not to make mistakes. You know, you're trying to put a couple first downs together. This field position will change. You put yourself in position where if you get a 20 or 30-yard pass, it could make a big difference.
There he is. That's our buddy. And ouch. That could ruin one of our cameras. You know that? And you know what? That bulb flies out after he takes it.
Oh.
That's one of those bulbs that flies out. He's still down there on that sideline. Schiller back to pass. He's going to go deep. He lofts it up deep, and it's going to be a pass interference call. He dropped it. Tom Harris had it, but it's going to be a pass interference call nonetheless.
Big-time pass interference. You can't jump when you don't know where the ball is. That was Rick Giesler. It was out there. And I think he just jumped up trying to knock the ball down with his hands. But you've got to turn your body in front of the ball. You could do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, he's got his back to the ball.
If Harris catches this, he's gone.
That's true, too.
Let's take a look.
He gets the ball out there. I don't know if he really set up well, but take a look at the last second. Watch Giesler jump right up. See him? Jumped up in front, didn't know where the ball was. He would have been in bounds, too. Yeah, he might have went all the way.
So a big play anyway for the Falcons as they get first down and better field position. Ball at about the 32-yard line. Ball just at the nose of the 32. First and 10 there for the Red Hawks. 7-0 they lead.
It doesn't help them as much as that big pass would have.
You're off.
Falcons need a big play here. And they do stop them. It'll be second and about 10 coming up. They are stacking it up now.
This is a defensive battle. I'll tell you, in the trenches, that's where this game is going to be won.
Next week, it should be a little bit more wide open football as the Avondale Yellow Jackets take on the Clawson Trojans at Clawson. That's Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on United Artists 63, right before your favorite show, the Road Show Video.
The Road Show Video. Hey, you're going to miss next week, aren't you?
I will miss next week. I will not be here.
And we will miss you.
I will be on vacation. I'm going to miss seeing the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah,
it's always a fun team to watch. So join Bob and Dave, as Dave will be taking my place. Dave down on the field this week. And on the carry, number 32 again, Jeff Smith. Not much there. Both teams staying conservative again.
That's a little too conservative. Now you're setting up third down and 8 or third down and 9. And when you have to throw, the defense can key on that, as Athens did earlier, set up the big blitz and stopped them cold. But, you know, they know that.
Here's head coach John Walker.
Doesn't seem too concerned. He's got the lead.
He's got the lead, 7-0, and 3:25 left in the third quarter. Back to pass Schiller. Same play as we saw earlier, but he's going to take off and run this time and pick up the first down and more. Just shy of midfield, ball at about the 49-yard line. First and 10, Red Hawks.
I'll tell you what, he's shown his running back ability there. You know, you can tell he used to be a running back. He goes back to pass. This is how he did it earlier. He tried to get himself some time by rolling out. Look downfield, nobody's open. He says, well, I'm going to run it. Now watch him trying to tackle the ball here. Got a couple people, 85, right there. Boom, trying to strip the ball. That's an excellent play. Another guy right there trying to strip the ball. I'll tell you what, that's excellent open field tackling too. But it is a first down. They got excellent field position.
First and 10, ball on the 49. The Red Hawks on the move now. Straight dive for Smith. Smith gains about 3 yards. Second down and maybe about 7 coming up.
I mentioned earlier, we were talking about Southfield last week, how key the quarterback was and as a weapon in running the ball. That was the first time the quarterback was able to take the ball and show any type of life. And it might make the defense now sit back and wait that extra second before he takes the ball up, or come up a second and open up a receiver. So that could make a big difference.
Second and 7 for the Red Hawks. One receiver split up top, split backfield. And that time the straight dive going to Schiffer. Schiffer, who had the touchdown, the lone touchdown of the game so far, gets the carry.
Tell you what, he had helmets with somebody. He ran into a brick wall. Look at him hitting his helmet. He says, that didn't hurt. That didn't hurt. Nope. He was knocked back and sideways. I'll tell you what, that was a collision. Third down and long again, though.
3rd and 6 coming up. Gain of about a yard, and Red Hawks looking to go to the air again.
Well, they don't have a lot of room to roll right, so let's see what they do.
They have come this way, though, surprisingly. Quick pattern, slant in, intercepted. It's Landry on the interception. The Falcons come up with their 2nd interception.
Big defensive play there. He was wide open, 2-step drop back, and put the ball right in the tight end's hands. Take a look right here. 1, 2 steps. That's all he goes back. Gets the ball right in his hands. Ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and he was able to take his eye off the ball. And Fred Landry makes a nice interception right there, and that could be a key point in this game because they were driving the ball.
They were. Schiller had to throw it over the line of scrimmage, and that's why it became a problem, and that's why it was tipped. Interception for the Falcons. Ball on the 40-yard line. 1st and 10. Redhawks drop back in the defense now. And a dive. And a good run. Good second effort by Bugner. Eric Bugner on a good second effort gets him about a 7-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down. No, 8-yard gain. 2nd and...
Watch Colin Beal here. Boom.
2.
He hits it. Watch this. Come up. Makes the tackle right at his ankles there. Number 12, too. That's Lidke. That hurts, too. You get a foot in your mouth when you're trying to tackle somebody. You don't have that protection down there.
37 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Here come the Falcons, and the pressure is put on. The screen play. Good play to call right here. He's going to pick up the 1st down. Newman out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
Mike Van Dam finally called the right play at the right time. The big blitz came. And there's 2 ways to beat a blitz, draw play or screen. That time he called the screen and got him out there with basically nobody in front of him. Take a look right here. Watch everybody coming at him. He knows it. He throws it out to the open receiver. He's got time. It's a nice pass. Allows him to turn the ball up. Newman takes the ball up. He's got no blockers because there's nobody out there. Doesn't need anybody. And a nice open field tackle right here, too. Really nice, because if not, that was a touchdown.
1st and 10, ball just shy of the 40-yard line. This will be the last play, probably, of the 3rd quarter. A big run by Newman again, and it looks like he picked up the 1st down. Falcons on the move. And that will end the 3rd quarter of play as we will bring it to the other end of the field. And the Falcons on the move. You know, this stop of play here in the quarter might kind of ruin the momentum for the Falcons.
Well, yeah, because they were on a roll. There's no doubt. Newman has showed a couple of nice moves. But right here, it's power running. He gets the ball straight up, puts his head down, and goes right up the hole. Now watch as he jumps up. Watch his legs go flying. Watch this right here. Boom. Tries to maintain his balance, and his legs go up in the air with a dive. You get hurt doing that.
He flew and got the 1st down.
That must be a new aerobic exercise or something, you know. Kind of a belly flop into the line there.
So there you see the Falcon cheerleaders visiting on the Rochester, the sideline there, the Red Hawks. The defense now. They're trying to get fired up as the Falcons getting one of their deepest penetrations of the game.
It never made any sense why the cheerleaders would come to the other side of the field, though.
Well, generally fans have been good to them.
Generally, that's high school. I can understand that. You know, they're not going to eat them alive or anything like that.
It's when you get those mascots dressed up in goofy outfits that people throw stuff.
Kind of attack them at these college games. There you go. I was one time at Michigan Stadium where it snowed before the game. It was back in 1972, back when Mike Lantry was the kicker. And they were throwing snowballs at him because he missed that field goal at the end of the game.
That's right.
Boy, that was something.
Here we go. 4th quarter ready to start. Here at Athens High School. Straight dive right up the middle. Newman. He had one man to beat, and he was finally brought down at about the 15-yard line. Newman inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 Falcons.
Great hole by the offensive line right here. Another great tackle by number 12, Leitke. Watch this tackle, open field. 2nd time he saved a touchdown. Excellent tackle. Otherwise, he was in for 6.
1st and 10. Ball at about the 13. They can get a 1st down at about the 3 or 4-yard line. The Falcons on the move and on their way to their first score of the game.
And remember the snap. Remember the snap at the punt.
Yeah.
Was low and made them block it. So that could make an effect here, going for the extra point if they ever get that far.
Yeah. Let's see what happens now. Red Hawk defense has to toughen up. Here's the dive. Bugner on the run, and the Red Hawks stack him up.
Nothing going there. A lot of penetration by the defense. Couldn't get any momentum going, and it'll be second down, and he gained about a yard at the most.
No, he gained a little bit more about.
Okay, maybe 2. There's Mike Van Dam. He's thinking about what play to call next. They're in a striped shirt, kneeling down, talking to his assistant coaches.
Bugner gained about 3. It'll be second and about 7 coming up. Long 7. I formation, or rather 2 men in the backfield. Back to pass. Now this has hurt them in the past. Touchdown! Falcons. Complete to number 25. That is Sirianni, Mike Sirianni, who has been one of their big receivers tonight. And a big 13, let's see, what was it, about a 10-yard pass play.
Here's the play right here. They use all the field. Here's the fakes, the whole linebackers. He's going to sprint out right. That's where they've been successful, is on the rollout. And it's a good pass right in the corner of the end zone on the flag route for the touchdown. Here's the extra point. This is key here.
It is up. It is good, and we are all tied up. 7-7. Now, Bob, you remember the last time we were here and we saw these two teams, it was an overtime battle.
That's true. I remember that. We've had one overtime game already this year, and it went to triple overtime. Or was it even quadruple overtime?
It was a while.
It was a low-scoring game until overtime hit. And quadruple overtime, that's right, boy. I'll tell you what, these low-scoring games can't get high-scoring when you get in overtime, because remember, you get 4 plays from the 10 to score, and you keep going back and forth until somebody stops the other guy. So it could get in the 40s, 50s, and that type of thing. And when you read the paper the next day, you say, well, that was a high-scoring game. Well, not necessarily. It was for the sake of points, but not during the regular game.
Yeah, as we saw in the game between the Falcons and who was it early on the season? Don Darrow, did we cover?
Yes, Don Darrow.
Don Darrow and the Falcons. There's the drive, 6 plays, 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the time of possession, and a total of 60 yards. One of the bigger drives, in fact, the biggest drive of the game. The other one was only 1 yard.
The only drive of the game, we'll say. Yeah. Sustained drive, we'll say.
Yeah. All tied up, 7-7. Falcons kicking off to the Red Hawks. Back to receive, Smith. Smith takes it at about the 15-yard line, trying to follow his blockers, busts it outside, and down at about the 30-yard line.
Oh, I thought he fumbled that ball for a second. I seen a bunch of bodies flying.
He tried coming around to the left side, and there was nothing there to break it open. Good return, though. He gets it out to about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, these guys are wearing gloves, you know? I mean, when I played ball, we never wore gloves. We didn't even know what gloves were. Our hands were all bloody mess.
Our coach wouldn't let us wear them.
Yeah. That must be the sign of the times. I don't know. Heck, we couldn't even wear pants half of the time.
Endorsements.
Yeah. Shoe contracts already, right?
That's right. 1st and 10, Red Hawks. Brian Schiller, the quarterback. 2 men in the backfield. 1 receiver split here, but they'll go with a straight dive to Smith again as he's wrestled down by number 31, Cosmal. Matt Cosmal on the tackle on Smith.
Yeah, he kind of bulldogged him down on that one, but it was a good open field tackle because the Smith broke that. He had a lot of room to run on the outside. But it sets up 2nd and 5, which allows them opportunity to call quite a few different plays here. So the defense is on their heel. Let's see what they do.
Let's see if that drive didn't spur on here the Red Hawks to try to get something going offensively. 2nd and 5. Schiller, straight dive again. Smith bouncing off. And gaining another 2 or 3. Let's see where they mark it. It'll be 3rd and short yardage. 3rd and about 2 yards coming up, a short 2.
A couple young hopefuls hoping that this game opens up so they can get in.
And it's highly unlikely.
That's very true.
The way this game has been going, it's going to be close to the very end. 3rd and about 2. 2 men in the backfield for Schiller. Straight dive again. And a good second effort by number 44 in there, Mark Sturm. Kind of reminds you of Rathman there, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's got that kind of look with the
44.
color uniform makes a difference.
Uniform.
I'd like to point out the drive before this, the Redhawks had an excellent drive going until they got intercepted deep in Falcon territory. So the last time their offense looked like they came to life a little bit.
They were on a move.
Yeah.
This time Smith trying to bounce it outside. He's brought down, but he's brought down with a face mask. And that'll tack on some yardage now for the Redhawks.
You know, they'll give him an automatic first down, that's for sure. And this drive keeps going. They're already to the approximately the 50-yard line. And I'll tell you what, they've looked pretty good. Take a look here. Smith shows some strong running again. Shows how he's, watch him run through a tackle. Let's see where the face mask comes in. Looks like Smith might have did the face mask himself too. He got a big 15-yarder too. Oh yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's where you get a lot of injuries, when you tackle a man by his face mask. Did not let go of it, and that was the key to the penalty.
Yeah, you got to immediately, if you feel that, you just have to let go if you're on the defense, if you don't want to get a penalty. But they did pick up the penalty. Ball at about the 41-yard line, 1st and 10 there. Redhawks on the move. Coming out this way, Smith almost broke it loose. Ball is fumbled, and the Falcons get it back.
Oh, no, they can't call it a fumble. He was down.
Let's see.
No, he was down. Oh, man.
Falcons get another turnover.
And I'll tell you what, he was within breaking one tackle of going all the way.
He almost broke it.
What
Let's
a
take
big turnaround
and
here.
see if the ground causes this.
There he goes. Now watch this. See if you can see if he's got the open field in front of him. There he comes through. Oh, he did fumble the ball.
Yeah, he did. He lost it.
He did fumble the ball. Okay. I was wrong. I'll admit that.
Yeah,
it sure looked like his knee was down before he popped it out.
He knows it. Unfortunately, they were on the move, and Jeff Smith was just one player away from breaking a long one. Here's Newman on a 1st down carry. He's been running well.
Take a look at this fumble again here. See where his knee hits. Let's see if his knee does hit before he fumbles the ball. There's his legs going down.
Nope, ball is loose.
The ball is loose before his knee hits. He had 3 guys tackling him. Maybe that's why he fumbled.
That's been happening all night, and their teammate letting him know it's all right. Brian Hughes talking to him. And Jeff, you had a great game.
Matt Newman's shown me a lot here the last 3 or 4 carries.
Back. Yep.
Yeah, he's been running the ball real well.
2nd down and 3. Newman on a 7-yard gain. And the Falcons on the move again. Newman again trying to get the 1st down, and does.
Good second effort. He was in the grasp and just dove forward and got the 1st down.
So Matt Newman picks up the 1st down. 7:39 left in the game. 7-7. We're all tied up, and the Falcons on the move.
They're in good position here to run a lot of clock off too, so they can get it down to where there's 2 minutes left and they make the score, whether it be by field goal or by a touchdown. It could make a big difference because Athens has a hard time throwing the ball.
Newman on a 1st down carry, breaks into the backfield, and another big gain. Ball down to about the 35-yard line, just shy, and about the 36.
He took a nice pop in the head on the end of that run. I'll tell you, he paid for it, but excellent run. Let's take a look at him. Watch him break through here. He's holding both hands on the ball. You're supposed to do that. They're trying to strip the ball. Now he's starting to run. Watch right at the end of the play. Watch him get headbutted. Boom. Right in the back.
And guess what? Our buddy's still taking pictures on the other side.
Well, we knew he
saw
wouldn't
the
quit.
flash.
What are you going to do? He's not going to quit.
It's getting exciting now.
Yeah.
7:29 left in the game. All tied up 7-7. The Falcons on the move, and a timeout down on the field. Don't forget to tune in to Transition right here on United Artists 63 as Jeffrey Miller hosts a show designed to give perspective to African American issues in and around the Detroit area. Don't forget to watch Transition Saturday at 10 p.m. There's the huddle for the Red Hawks. And the defense needs to come up big here, come up with a turnover themselves. And there you see one of the cheerleaders, one of the parents.
Is that the brow down there? No, that's one of the...
One of the parents getting...
Just put him in the last play.
I'll tell you what, the stands are shaking right now. We can feel it up here in the press box.
Well, it's a big defensive play right here. They've got first down. They've been running real well on first down. Let's see what they can do to stop it.
Let's see if they go right back to Newman again. Matt Newman has been carrying big on first down carries. In motion is Ott. And they go into Newman again. Newman with another diving run as he's airborne and getting up a little slow this time.
Well, he probably knocked the wind out of himself when you jump up high like that and you fall on the ball. I'll tell you what, you've got nothing to break your fall. And take a look at Newman here. He runs hard. Both hands on the ball again. Watch him jump up here. He falls on the ball. See? That knocks the wind out of you right there. Big first down run again. They've really done that well in this
Another
drive.
7-yard gain on a first down carry. 7 or 6 yards. The second down and about 3 coming up. Newman and Bugner in the backfield. They go to the air. Van Dam again overthrows his intended receiver, number 36, Newman. Both the quarterbacks have had trouble getting it to their receiver. They have had a tendency to overthrow their man.
Well, he was open. You can take a look right here. He's rolling left. It's more difficult to throw that way. He's got to stop and plant. There you go. And he throws the ball just a little bit high. You can see here. Newman had to stretch for it. He might be getting tired. He's already carried the ball 6 times here in the second half for 65 yards. So he's got a lot of work. And here goes the stands again.
Well, we got cheerleaders, but this guy has really gotten this team going.
Show him blitz.
Not much that time. And the cheers from the stands may be helping out. Newman on the carry again.
And we got a hurt player
an
down
injured
there.
player. Looks like it's number 56. And it is for the Red Hawks. That is Larry Lay. And he looks like he's in bad shape right now. His leg looks like his left leg.
Looks like it's a knee. They're kind of rolling it up there. And I'll tell you what, this reminds me of a game we did earlier in here against Ferndale, where in overtime one of their players broke a shin bone, and we had quite a delay in overtime, and that game went to the wee hours.
So it's so we have to alert our stations down the line again for Nightline. Anyway, this again does remind us of that contest. It was a very close game. We went into overtime. And with 5:55 here, this could very well go into overtime.
Well, he's sitting up. That's a good sign. That means he's not in too much pain, because otherwise he'd be laying on the ground writhing. So he's going to get up and get off the field on his own power, maybe. Let's take a look. A little help. We get a big round of applause. Sure, mom's watching.
Larry Lay, the senior defensive tackle, 5'11", 210. Big guy, and we'll get some help from the players.
They should have got 2 guys with the same height, though. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, you know. They should have got a couple guys that were the same height so they wouldn't bend over like that. Make it a lot easier.
I hope Larry's all right as he heads off. And coming up, it'll be a 4th down and 2 for the Falcons.
And a really big play, because they haven't had many scoring opportunities. And I'll tell you what, they need to take advantage of this, because it could swing the momentum back over to Athens, who's had a couple good drives, but turnovers killed them.
Clock was reset to 6:10. Bugner hit in the backfield, but he'll try to lunge forward, and he may have the first down.
That's all second effort. Boy, I'll tell you what, he took a big hit there in the backfield. He's getting up slowly and showing it. Take a look right here. Watch him get popped. Right here, he's slowed up, and here's the pop. Boom, right on the head. Oh, man, he laid out somebody.
But he
there.
spins forward to pick up enough for the first down. A big 4th down carry for Bugner to pick up the first down for the Falcons. There we see Lay on the sideline.
That was a big 4th down play. They're still got the drive going here.
1st and 10, Newman. Stacked up. He's been getting about 7 yards a crack on his first down carry. This time, the Red Hawks toughen up and stop him for no gain.
They're starting to expect him to carry the ball, and obviously they can key on that. The linebackers will stay back, wait for him to come to the line of scrimmage and attack him. They've got to mix it up a little bit here with some play action possibly.
Ball at the 24 of the Red Hawks. 5:25 left in the game. Here we see Larry Lay getting his knee work down on the sideline. And the Red Hawk fans trying to get their defense fired up. I formation in the backfield.
There's the play action.
The fake. They're going to go to the screen again. They've got Newman, and he stacked up a good play defensively by number 22. That is Colin Beal getting in the backfield and reading the screen.
It's exactly what I said they should do is the play action. Take a look right here. Here's the fake handoff. He hides the ball well, but the defense is coming at him strong. The reason being is just setting up the screen. Well, take a look at the defensive end who slides down the line of scrimmage, number 87. He slides right down, as well as a couple of the defensive backs, and there's an excellent open field tackle by number 22, Colin Beal.
And our cameraman.
And our cameraman.
Our photographer, I should say.
He's there. 3rd and 10.
4:30 left in the game. Van Dam pressured. Unloads downfield. It's up for grabs. And incomplete.
All right, that's the way.
Good throw down there intended for number 23. Or excuse me, 25 again. And that was Sirianni who caught the touchdown, and good coverage by Harris.
He's rolling right again. Now look at the defensive pressure coming at him. He had to get rid of the ball, and he throws it up high to avoid the interception. It was an excellent play, I'll tell you what. It was real close to being a completion.
And good coverage down there again by Harris, intended for Sirianni.
We got a long field goal try.
Field goal attempt for the Falcons to try to break the deadlock. It is up. It is short. There it is, off to the side. He had the distance, and it was just off to the left. But I was surprised. He had a lot of distance on that kickoff.
Well, it was about a 40-yard attempt that time, and I'll tell you what, it might have been short to the left, but nonetheless, he did miss it and gives the ball back over to the Athens Red Hawks, and they've got a good chance of coming back here because they've shown 2 good drives in a row. They've got to hold on to the ball. If they can drive, then they've got an excellent field goal kicking team. Let's take a look at it. He's got some good momentum and trajectory on it. Got it up high. Let's see how close it was. Real good camera work. Look at that.
And he just did have enough. He would have had enough leg to get it through.
There, yeah.
Here come the Red Hawks now. Straight dive. Here's Smith on the first down carry. Look out.
The blocker.
Jeff Smith out to midfield.
Rick Kieser with a good open field tackle, but Smith made an excellent run, cutting back to the outside, picking up some blocking, and taking the ball all the way down to the 49-yard line. What a run. Take a look at it again here. He cuts right outside. Now watch this. He cuts right back in. He's using his arm. He's pushing people off. He says, I'm going to pick up a blocker here. He takes a look. And he's going to take the ball right up. Watch this. Trying to push him back, number 33, Gieser. We had 4 guys tackling, but an excellent run.
And it's called momentum, and it carried him forward. Here on the carry is number 44, Sturm.
Fumble.
And a fumble. Let's see what the call is.
I think he might have been down that time. Yep,
They do. They point down at about the, let's see, 46-yard line.
Yeah, his knees hit, and then he fell forward, and that's what caused the fumble. Smith's now got 94 yards and 20 carries, so the offense is starting to pick up for both teams here in the second half.
And Bob, it may get a little slippery down there. We talked about it on previous games. It may get a little wet because it is getting a little cool and damp out there. Here's Smith again into the backfield and almost ran over the ref and ran right into Landry for another first down. Ball at about the 31-yard line, 1st and 10 there.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what tripped him up. It might have been the ref, but otherwise he was gone. Excellent run. He picks. Look at the blocking there. Here's the key, the blocking. It looks like he just pushed him at the last second. Yep, just kind of tripped on it. Ref really wasn't too much in the picture, but it was a real good run. Showed good footwork by Smith.
1st and 10, Red Hawks on the move, trying to break the deadlock, and the fans are letting him know they're behind him. No gain on this one. Gain of maybe, let's see, a yard or 2.
They stacked him up that time, but I'll tell you what, he's broken a couple here and shows he's got that breakaway speed. Might have gained a yard.
Let's see where they mark it. He got about 2. Let's see.
I think he got a yard.
A yard. Let's call it a yard.
He's still got a long way to go. 2nd and long. We'll say that.
A long yard, yeah.
is a key play to this drive here. You get a couple yards, they can open it up, but this is a real big play.
Here we go. Sturm and Smith in the backfield. Schiller handing off to Sturm on a straight dive, and he goes forward.
That was an excellent call. Handing off to the fullback when they're looking for Smith. He's able to take the ball down. It's going to be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. But now that opens up for a number of different plays. You're down deep. You might go for it on 4th down. You can't lose any yardage on this play. That's the key. You've got to go ahead.
Here's the replay with 1:55 left now in the game.
Some good tackling here by both teams. I'll tell you what, to show why they're some good defensive teams, that they both hang on for the tackles.
Clock is winding down at 1:43 and counting. One receiver up top. Whistle and a delay of game. You got them at 3rd and 4, and they get a delay of game and knocks them back 5 yards.
And they could have called a timeout, and it wouldn't have hurt them one bit.
Yeah, with 1:30-something left in the game.
That is a shame. They're still not within field goal range, at least as far as we know. They need about 10 more yards, I think, to get to a fair shot at the field goal. There's really no wind to say, so that won't affect the kick. Now they're going to call a timeout.
Now they call a timeout, which really hurts. They should have called the timeout earlier on a 3rd and 4, and now it's a 3rd and 9. So you got a big difference in play calling from 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 9. And John Walker heads out to talk things over. Next week, it'll be Avondale, the Yellow Jackets, taking on the Clawson Trojans. And a good matchup there for you, a wide open Avondale offense and a strong Clawson Trojan team. 7 p.m. Saturday and Monday.
I still think they need a 1st down in order to get in the field goal range. A 42-yard field goal is a little much to ask at this point. But as we saw earlier, he has got a good foot, so you never know. He could kick it through.
No wind either. The wind was blowing pretty briskly earlier today, and it is not existent now.
It would be a 47-yard field goal from this point.
Yeah.
So they need at least 5 yards. Even if they don't get the 1st down, they're still pretty far out.
Yeah, they need a big gain here. Mike Van Dam on the other sideline, pointing at the clock. Clock says 1:36 left. All tied, 7-7. Big play for the Red Hawks. Big play for both teams. Schiller to pass, complete to the 10-yard line. 1st down, Red Hawks.
What a big play. I'll tell you what, he showed some poise back there in the pocket, waited for his receiver to break open and hit him on a dead run. What an excellent play.
Grabowski on the reception, Bob. Let's take a look.
The play action freezes the linebackers. He rolls right, which is on the way he's going. Sets up and makes an excellent pass to Grabowski. Watch this. Hits him up in the numbers. Great play. 1st down. Now they're in field goal range.
Ball shy of the 10-yard line at about the 12, 1st and 10. 1:12 left in the game. Straight dive. On the carry is Schiffer. Schiffer, who had the touchdown for the Red Hawks to put them up 7-0 in the 1st quarter.
Remember, a field goal wins it. They want to keep the ball in the middle of the field. They want to keep the ball in the middle of the hash marks, because when you kick in an angle like that, I'll tell you what, it makes it real difficult. They're definitely within striking distance here. You got a man down in the field.
And a player is hurt on the Falcons side. 48 seconds left on the clock. Talking to John Walker, he said he has very good faith in his kicking game this year. So that is why we're talking field goal. Down on the field, it looks like hard to tell. We had a shot of him that could have been number 12, Eric Bugner, who is an offensive player.
He does play some defensive back, I believe, for him also.
He does play defensive back. That could just be being tired. He's been out there all game long. And you can see the 12 on the shoulder pad there.
Right. Mike Van Dam doesn't need anybody else hurt. He's had quite a few injuries this week. He's had a couple of people out with the flu, a couple other injuries, a shoulder injury. He's had 4 or 5 people out. He said that are semi or quasi starters in his words. So he doesn't need any more injuries, not only for this game, but for the games to come, because he's got the big season coming up.
Yep, more conference play coming up. That is Bugner down on the field. And a break in the action with 48 seconds left in the game, all tied up, 7-7, and just a tremendous play by the Red Hawks to get a man open. There's Bugner. He will be up on his feet and heading off, and here's the play again. Bugner coming in from the left side. Let's see, right there.
Looks like he kind of slipped at the last second and twisted an ankle, or kind of slipped through him.
Landed funny.
Yeah, kind of landed funny on his legs.
Here we go. 2nd down and 7.
Fumble.
A little bit of movement on the line. Here's Schiller, goes out of bounds at about the 10 and at about the 8-yard line.
I'll tell you what, he almost didn't get that snap. It looked like he fumbled the snap. It was close.
So no gain on that one. It'll be 3rd down and about 7 again. 39 seconds left in the game.
They're at the left hash mark now.
They
so
want to get it to the middle of the field. Yeah.
Tackled pretty hard out of bounds there. I didn't see the fumble. 3rd and 7, big play right here. They would like to get the touchdown, obviously.
Smith on the carry, spinning. And close to a 1st down. Let's see if he got it.
He's really close, I'll tell you what.
Can he get a measurement or no?
If he does, he's got 3 plays to try to run it in.
Nope, he's about a yard short of the 1st down. Let's see, timeout called by the Red Hawks.
Well, Dave, here's a big call right here. You're 1 yard away from the touchdown. If you don't get the touchdown, you could get a 1st down, but you could get neither. You need to kick the field goal, win the game.
Next week, Avondale at Clawson, right here on United Artists 63, Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m.
To watch this game in lieu of the game of the week. This is the game of the week.
This is. Right now, 7-7 with 21 seconds left and a big decision here for head coach John Walker.
Well, I really don't think there's any decision to be made. He's in the middle of the field. He's an extra point range away from winning the game, or at least giving them 18 seconds maybe to score. So he's got to kick the field goal.
And that's what he'll do.
You might want to ice him here, have Rochester call a timeout. Mike Van Dam wait till him come up the line and him call a timeout.
He's got it right down the middle of the field. Good situation here. So Schiller will do the kicking. He's been under pressure all game. He's been the quarterback.
There's the timeout. What did I say?
So they are going to ice the kicker, but Schiller is very cool about it. So he knows. He's been in the game, like I said, all game at quarterback. So he knows what pressure is.
I'll tell you what, the fans are excited. Everybody is standing up here.
I guess John Walker just told him, hey, this is no different than practice right here. Just kick it.
Extra point.
Kick an extra point right here.
Should be automatic 90% of the time. Of course, I'm saying that now. I don't have to go out there and kick it.
That's right, we don't.
We don't have to snap the ball. We don't have to block the people coming at us. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong here.
Yeah. John Walker talking to his team, and like Bob said, it's just like an extra point right now.
7-7.
But you can't let up. You've got to block every man coming through and try to get this victory. There's your clock. 21 seconds left as John Walker heads back. All the fans on the Red Hawk side on their feet.
And another timeout.
And another timeout called by the Falcons.
That's some psychological play, I'll tell you, on these kids. It's pretty tough. But I guess what Mike Van Dam is thinking, that, hey, even if they kick the field goal, and I get the ball back with, say, 18 seconds left, there's no way I can get the ball down the field. There's no way. So he's saying, this is my shot. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. There's the #1 Red Hawk fan, and he sure has shown it tonight. He's got them going. All the fans here are on their feet, awaiting this kick for the 3rd try. Here we go.
Here it is, Brian Schiller to do the kicking. And the Red Hawks, a victory on the line right here. The snap, it's down, it is up, it is good.
Oh man, he kicked that one 40 yards past it.
He got it off just as it went down.
Boy, I called the clock right, 18 seconds left, sure enough. And he really booted that one through, I'll tell you. He knew he was going to kick that through. a good snap and a good placement. Everything went right. That's what they needed. Home field advantage.
And the Red Hawks lead 10-7 with 18 seconds left. And the Red Hawks look like they can put this one away and go 4-0 on the season.
Now here's a key decision to make. Do you kick the ball deep and allow them to possibly run the ball back, or do you kick a line drive and maybe get one of the up men to take the ball and fall down on it?
What was the distance on his?
Well, let's see.
It was like
2 + 9. That's a 19 yards.
19-yarder to make it 10-7 in the Red Hawk lead.
I'd probably kick a line drive kick, try to get through that first wave so they got some distance to go, and have one of the second wave people try to field the ball. I don't know if you want to kick it deep because you allow them the opportunity to run the ball back. So.
And they've got a speedster back there. It is number 21, C.J. Howard.
We've seen games turn around with kicks. Deion Sanders ran back a big kick against the Redskins the other day.
So I say you're right, Bob. Just in between the front line, the second line, or just behind the second line is where you might want to drop it in.
Even a little pop-up kick past that first line would be okay, too.
Yeah. There's a squiv kick. So somebody touched it, and they down it at about the 37-yard line. And the Falcons will get, well, maybe a couple of plays to go deep. 17 seconds left on the clock.
Exactly what they wanted to do, get past the first line, which they did. Had one of the second line people play it, who fumbled the ball. But when you do that, you got to fall on it. And when you fall on it, obviously you're out of the play.
Van Dam back to pass, going deep, and waiting for the interception and picking it up is Harris. Harris with the interception wants to run out the clock, and he is down with 4 seconds left.
Nice catch, and he did the smart thing, tried to run up the clock. He didn't try to run up the field. That's all he wanted to do. And the ball game is over, friends. Everything but the last snap.
Well, the Red Hawks coming in at halftime really didn't have much in terms of
45
stats.
yards total offense. That didn't show much. No yards passing, 45 rushing, and not really to say that much.
And they came up big. And that'll do it. Didn't even have to snap the ball. The Red Hawks. And a big victory here at home over the Rochester Falcons. And a very hard-fought battle for both teams.
And here comes the peanut gallery onto the field.
A lot of the fans coming onto the field, not the coaches, the fans. There we see Mike Van Dam and head coach John Walker shaking hands and the rest of the coaching staff. And a very hard-fought battle for both teams. It could have gone either way.
Absolutely. Turnover made the key there. The block punt that gave Rochester or Athens the opportunity to go in for a 1-yard run. Gave them their only touchdown, and then they got this drive going.
There he is, the #1 fan. If you can read the hat, it says Red Hawks #1 fan on the hat. And he sure got everybody going here on the Rochester sideline in the stands. A happy John Walker and coaching staff coming up with a big victory to go 4-0 right now on the season. And 3-0 in the conference. We'll be back to wrap it up here at Troy Athens High School right after these messages.
If you're in business, you know you can pour a lot of money into advertising, trying to reach your potential customers. But if you think the results aren't adding up fast enough, add cable TV advertising to your plan. Cable's variety of programs let you target your best prospects right in your area. And cable is affordable, so you can afford to run more ads. Cable TV advertising. It works. Call United Artists Cable Advertising today.
The field goal attempt by Schiller to get the victory for the Red Hawks. It is up, it is good, and a 3-point victory for the Red Hawks tonight, 10-7. And the quarterback, the punter, and the kicker, Schiller for Athens comes through. Brian Schiller with the margin of victory, 10-7. And some of the final stats for you, Bob, coming up here, and I think things pretty much evened out here in the second half. 66 passing for Rochester, 19 for Athens, but a key part of that 19 was a first down to about the 10-yard line. Rushing 136 to 170, Athens really came on strong in the rushing department, and the total offense pretty much evened out.
A couple turnovers hurt Athens. Of course, the big one hurt Rochester when the set up the touchdown, the 1-yard plunge, which was the difference in the game. Of course, when you only have a 10-7 score. Both defenses played really well. Offenses kind of came to life here in the second half and made the game pretty exciting near the end.
Yeah, pretty much everything else evened out. Turnovers, first downs, and time of possession. Athens just very opportunistic. Blocked the punt and managed to get it in for the 1-yard run. Rushing statistics, Newman for Rochester, 15 for 88 yards. Passing, by Van Dam, 6 of 14 for 66 yards. Receiving, it was Ott for Rochester, who caught 3 for 23 yards. On the other side, the Athens leaders, it was Smith who pretty much carried the load with 23 carries for 117 yards.
He did a real good job running the ball, breaking tackles, and basically didn't break the big one, but had a lot of short, good gains.
And he got him into good scoring position for that final extra, or rather the field goal, the 3-point. Avondale against Clawson next week. It'll be Saturday and Monday. The Avondale Yellow Jackets and head coach Rick Brewer head into Clawson in their high-powered offense. Don't forget to tune in for that one. And
before we go, and before we go, I have here a card from the staff here.
Oh boy!
At United Artists Cable, a happy birthday card to our favorite announcer, Dave Zorn, who, guess what, will be 30 years old on Monday.
30, huh?
30 years old.
I forgot all about it.
You forgot all about it. Well, happy birthday. We're going to miss him next week, but the tradition will carry on. I'll be here, and we'll have a big game next week.
Well, thanks, Bob, and thanks to all the crew for all this and reminding me that I am hitting that big 3-0 mark. Thanks again to everybody, and thank you for watching and tuning in. Tonight, the Redhawks defeating the Rochester Falcons 10-7. Thanks for tuning in, and join us again next week as the Avondale Yellow Jackets take on the Clawson Trojans.